out there, peeps? So tonight I had several conversations going on with people. You had some people who were kind of attacking, and some people who were just questioning, and some people who understood. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. When I'm talking about NESARA, GESARA, everybody knows that I do not fall in line with all those other yahoos and YouTube. The ones talking about clones and all that other crap. Okay, I'm not saying that cloning doesn't exist because I know it does, but not at the level these people are talking about. I'm trying to bring awareness, and I get it. Some of this stuff is really scary. And instead of facing that fear and doing something about it, like bring more awareness to people so that we as a group can do something about this, you just sit back and tell yourself, oh no, it's not going to happen. There are these times where these leaders come into power and they do horrific things to citizens. And I'm sure them citizens were sitting at home going, boy, we heard all kinds of bad things in the news, but it's not going to happen to me. And it did. This video is about the future your brain has. These are the plans that these people have for us. They don't even hide it anymore. They tell you what their plan is. That makes it even scarier because they feel like they are in such a great position worldwide that they no longer need to hide. They feel more than confident about their ability to achieve their agenda. And you got several of you out there going, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's already been stopped. I keep suggesting that people meet me halfway on this one. If you believe that, fine and dandy, believe it. But at least keep your guard up just in case. I was having this conversation. I told the guy, look, behind all I'm saying is keep your guards up. He just refused. Refused. He was adamant about it. Got cussed out the whole 9 yards. He would not listen. He was telling me, I'm telling you, Pimpy, these people are dead. I know for a fact. And I was like, well, let me see. Share those facts. Of course, there was no facts. I said, man, look at what I'm telling you is this. Until the announcement comes that all these people are clones and they've been to tribunals. I mean, how many years is it going to take for all these tribunals? Some of these people have been there multiple times. And it's quite disturbing to see how easy it is to manipulate so many people. Now I listen to everything. I have a neutral position on most all subjects. When people say, hey, is this going to happen? I say, it's possible. What about this? Yeah, that's possible. Anything is possible. So is it possible they're all clones and they've all been tried at Gitmo and they've been through tribunals and they've been executed? Yeah, it's possible. But until somebody comes out and says that absolutely happened 100%, just sit back and finish eating your popcorn, I'm going to stand with my guard up. And I'm saying you should do the same thing too. I'm going to show you some disturbing videos so that you're at least aware of what it is they have planned for us. Not only that, they tell you they've already started. Yeah, and you got to ask yourself, how did that happen? When did it happen? To whom did it happen to? So let's take a look into this. And like I'm saying, be open-minded. At least keep your guard up until somebody comes out and confirms, indeed, that everybody's a clone, okay? And if these people have their way, they'll make us all a clone, that's for sure. Before we get started, though, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. Right now, you need to be outside of the system, because once they control your money, that's it. You have to do what they want, or starve to death. And your kids will starve to death, or your loved ones will starve to death. And we don't want that to happen. It's necessary to have something outside of the system. I don't care if they lie to everybody in the world and tell you that gold and silver has zero value. We know it's not true. We know it's BS. They just want to force everybody into that little central bank digital currency. So have something outside of the system, something you could barter with. Gold and silver are those things. When you go to buy your metals, do me a favor and go check out our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you'll get a free half ounce of silver. This is Klaus Schwab's right-hand man, Yuval Noah. He's telling you guys what their intentions are. This is Agenda 2030. This information is not meant to scare you, but if it does, I understand that. It should make you pissed off. You should start grabbing people going, wake up and listen to this. The more people that are aware of this, the more people that can stand up and do something about it. Awareness is key. So let's listen to this guy, hear what his ideas are about humans and our future.
Now humans are developing even bigger powers than ever before. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life.
You hear this guy, right? They believe what they are saying. And I know my religious folk out there are going, no, 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 they can't be God. There's only one God. I get that. Let's all just, those of us who are religious, those of us who are spiritual, let's just get that part out of the way now. We all agree there's only one God. And for those of you who believe in multiple gods, we all agree there are one supreme being, okay? Now, when Jesus said, not only will you be able to do what I do, but so much more, I don't think he had this in mind. I might be wrong, but you get where I'm going with this. The more you learn about the way they think, the better off you are. It helps you to understand who the people are on the other side of the field, if you get my drift. You heard it. He said that we're becoming God-like. We can create and destruct. Sure we can. I get that. But I don't think I am going out on any kind of real limb by saying that 95% of the people on earth just want to be left alone to live their life peacefully without anybody screwing with them one way or another. If these people start doing what this guy's talking about, this definitely would interfere with your peace.
If people don't know how a vaccine works, it's now extremely dangerous. And the thing is that, yes, science has a built-in problem in a way, which is that reality is really complicated. When you invent some conspiracy theory or spread misinformation, you can invent whatever you want. Usually you invent something very simple that people can immediately understand. Okay, a group of multi-billionaires have created this in a laboratory to take over the world. And, especially in recent months during this pandemic, I think everybody realized the immense importance of bringing scientific knowledge to as many people as possible. If scientists don't make the effort, if they remain just within their ivory tower speaking with one another, they are leaving the space open for all these conspiracy theories and all this misinformation and so forth. So we need, as scientists, to make the effort to talk with everybody and talk in a way that is accessible.
No. What they're doing is silencing those who oppose their opinion and trying to force people to listen to their opinions only. You can't gain the trust of people when it's one-sided. You have to let us hear both sides of the equation, then we make the decisions on our own about what is BS and what isn't. Now, this guy's already said they have the ability to strip people's free will away, and they're already attempting to do that.
Some stories are common now to almost all of humanity. Fictional stories, maybe money is the best example. People all over the world believe in money and in the same money. Even Osama bin Laden was happy to accumulate American dollars. He hated the USA and American culture and American politics. He had no objection to American dollars. So this is one, and it's just a story. They have no objective value. I mean, today, even most dollars they don't even bother to print them.
The fact that he's using Osama bin Laden as an example, this is the guy that wants to control your future. But what he does say about money, yeah, there's something about that.
You know, in the last year, the Federal Reserve has created, I don't know how many billions of dollars.
Trillions.
When they create today dollars, they don't even bother to print. One thing is certain. History will not continue on its present course. There will be huge surprises. I just can't tell you what they are because otherwise they wouldn't be surprises.
Okay, so stop right there. So when people go around saying there's some type of agenda going on and people are saying, man, it's a conspiracy. Dude, it's in your head. All these events that are happening are not part of an agenda. You just heard what this guy said. He said, we have some surprises coming up in the future and that he can't tell us or else they won't be surprises. What we're going through now, according to him, is a surprise. And there's many more to come. This is why awareness is so important. I get it. It's scary for some people. You don't want to know this crap exists out there. But if you keep your head in the sand, you're not going to be ready for when it comes towards you.
We are living at a tipping point of history. Today, we are giving more and more away our freedom to algorithms, to data. We are living with robots.
So that's interesting what she says. Every day, more and more, we are losing our freedoms to algorithms. See, the government is not supposed to be spying on you all willy-nilly, but they do allow that to happen. Our social media platforms are a perfect example of that. And our government is not doing what they're supposed to do to protect our rights. And because of that, this is where we are today. Listen to what she's saying. We're giving away our freedom more and more to algorithms.
And maybe one day we will become robots ourselves. We are talking about augmented humans.
So what she's saying, robots, she's talking about robots. I'll rewind it so that you can hear it all over again. She said in the future, maybe we will become robots. Remember that little surprise the Yovel was talking about? And I told people about this and they said, oh, good Lord, man, dude, that's real crazy. It's not going to happen. Okay, well, let's listen.
The tipping point of history. Today, we are giving more and more away our freedom to algorithms, to data. We are living with robots, and maybe one day we will become robots ourselves. We are talking about augmented humans. We really believe that technology will lead to a more inclusive society where each and everyone will have more happiness, wealth, and we hope we could live in a more healthy environment. Partner with the EPFL together to welcome one of the greatest thinkers of this 21st century. He has wrote 3 books that were sold worldwide: Homo Sapiens, Homo Deus, and 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. He is a professor at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and he will help us to understand what the future of humanity will be.
The most important thing to know as human beings in the 21st century is that we are now hackable animals. And this is the result of the combination of 2 enormous scientific and technological revolutions, as a revolution in infotech and the revolution in biotech, which in the past decades have evolved separately, but are now combining to a single revolution, which, as I said, results in really the ability to hack human beings. E times C times D equals R, which means biological knowledge multiplied by computing power, multiplied by data, equals the ability to hack humans. Now, to hack a human being means to understand, let's say, me, better than I understand myself. To understand what I feel, what I think, what I want, better than I understand it. And once this is possible, it means that whoever understands me better than I understand myself can not only predict my decisions and choices, but can also manipulate my decisions and choices and increasingly take decisions on my behalf. It means the shifting of authority from humans to algorithms. Now, a lot of governments and corporations and institutions throughout human history had this ambition to understand and control humans. But it was never really possible because they never had the biological knowledge, the computing power, and the data necessary to do it. Even just a few decades ago, let's say the KGB in the Soviet Union, the KGB could follow you around everywhere, 24 hours a day, observing, recording who are you talking with, where you go, what you do. But the KGB did not have enough biological knowledge, enough computing power, and enough data to really decipher what was happening within you, what was happening inside your body, inside your brain, inside your mind. Now, for the first time in human history, and if not now, then in 10 or 20 years, at least some corporations and some governments will have enough biological knowledge, enough computing power, and enough data to systematically hack millions and even billions of people. We will soon have the technology that will enable governments and corporations to manipulate and control the will of the voter and the desire of the customer like never before.
They're already doing that now. We saw what happened in 2020. Let's be honest. So, do you hear what they're saying? They're trying to remove your ability to think on your own.
Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over.
That's over.
Over. Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. Yeah, I mean, everything is being digitalized. Everything is being monitored. In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste, because a crisis is an opportunity to also do good reforms that in normal times people will never agree to. But in a crisis, you see, we have no chance. So let's do it.
You see what he's saying? Without the crisis, people wouldn't allow these things to happen. Remember, he said we have surprises. So what they do is they take advantage of these crises, whether they're planned or not. And then they use those crises as an excuse to violate your rights because you wouldn't agree otherwise. This picture is a perfect example.
Vaccine won't help us go
The
to the
vaccine
test, of course.
will help us, of course. It will make things, you know, more manageable.
Surveillance, people could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves.
So how are they going to do the surveillance under the skin? How do you suppose they got the mechanisms to surveil you from under your skin? Let that sink in.
This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century.
By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself.
You notice how he said elites have the ability. So they do believe there's an elite class and the rest of us are just piss ants.
Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it.
Natural selection is replaced by intelligent design. The era of inorganic life is now beginning.
In the coming decades, AI and biotechnology will give us godlike abilities to re-engineer life and even to create completely new life forms. We are about to enter a new era of inorganic life shaped by intelligent design. Our intelligent design.
No, the bigger question is whose intelligent design? When he says ours, he don't mean ours. Nobody is flawless. Everybody has a bias. So who's going to decide what is and what is not okay with these so-called intellectually designed beings. Because no matter what you try to do to these future beings, understand that they are already flawed from the get-go. Already flawed. That's because a human created them. And since we're not flawless, the seed is embedded into these so-called intelligent creations. They're already flawed before they get started. There's a reason why God is God and we aren't, okay?
Easiest people to manipulate are the
People like
people
me.
who believe in free will, because you manipulate them and they don't even suspect, because, hey, I chose it because this is my free will. We can't regulate bioengineering just in one country, because if you don't genetically engineer human babies in Spain, but you do it in China, then very soon even the Spanish will say, hey, we don't want to stay behind.
Yeah.
Said bioengineer babies. So what they're doing is whatever type of research, they go to different governments who will allow it, and they do different levels of experiments and research. This guy is really just telling the world what they're doing.
Very soon, biometric sensors and AI will give computers direct access to your heart and to your brain. Like already people wearing these rings or these...
So if they don't like you, they just zap your heart and kill you or shut off your brain. And this guy is banking on everybody trusting whoever they say is in charge. Do you trust your government or these people to be in control of your life?
bracelets that constantly measure blood pressure and heart rate. So the computer can watch you and know not only if you're smiling, but if your blood pressure is a little high, is a little low, and that gives indication if you're angry, if you're bored. And you know, the AI, this revolution.
Just take a look right here. It says the Great Reset. Yovo is praised by the likes of Barack Obama, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates. That should tell you everything you need to know about this guy.
And you know, the AI, this revolution is barely 5 years old.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything yet.
5 years old. This interview was from 2021. So since what? 2016? So since when? 2015, 2016? Whatever this plan is, whatever's going on, he's telling you it's only 5 years old. So this is an agenda.
In the country, 24 hours a day are being surveyed by these very powerful technologies, and AI constantly analyzing this data. And this results in decisions about everything. Everything you do goes into the decision whether to give you a loan, whether to accept you for a job, whether to accept you to college, whether to everything.
How you feel being so influential? I mean, it has happened probably in the last few years, no?
Yeah, just again,
I mean, I'm interested in you have power somehow to convince leaders. How you yourself?
So I now have a team that is helping me deal with that. It's impossible to deal with such a thing just one person. So people see me and they think I'm doing everything. I actually do very little. And the people who really work hard are my team members who organize this and everything.
I'll send you a CV.
And also, I repeatedly tell people that they shouldn't see me as a kind of prophet or guru. I don't know what will happen in 10 years or 20.
Prophet or guru? They literally call this guy a prophet, just so you're aware. I don't know if everybody would give him that same label. Some people might call him demonic, evil. That might be the other names.
I'm a historian, I'm not a prophet. I try to open people's minds to different possibilities, but I don't know what will happen. And also, I'm not a politician. I can't tell you exactly what to do. So I hope that people...
Wait a minute. He said you would strip away free will. So what do you mean you can't tell them what to do? Just strip away their free will and tell them what to do. Make up your mind, dude. This is why it's important for you to go to the World Economic Forum, Young Globalist Leaders. I put the link down there. Go to that one. Over to the right, it does year by year. You can see all the people attending. And if you pay attention to his verbiage, he's saying as elites, It is our responsibility as elites. So they believe they have an elite class.
People will use these ideas to open their own minds and to start thinking about new solutions, new possibilities. Today we have the technical ability to start redesigning humanity. Luckily, we still have ethical and political breaks to slow it down or to prevent it, but the technical ability is already there. And genetics and genetic engineering is just one avenue of doing that. We also have this remarkable improvement in computer science and artificial intelligence. So genetics is really just, in a way, taking natural selection, evolution, and pressing the fast forward button. Something that would have taken 1 million years of evolution, we'll try to do it in 10 years. But then we have completely new ways to create and redesign entities, the inorganic way of linking humans to computers, brains to computers, or even creating completely non-organic entities. Artificial intelligence, perhaps even artificial consciousness, which is even a more radical change. You can say that genetic engineering is just playing with the same bits and pieces that evolution has played for billions of years. This is something completely new, that to create really inorganic entities. And now if you give the tools to start changing or overcoming biology, just think about sex life. Almost every religion and every ideology wanted to really change human sexuality or limit it, but they couldn't. You had vows of chastity in the church, and how many people actually lived up to the vows of chastity? Now think, if you can really start messing with human biology, what will be the result of these sexual fantasies of different religions and ideologies?
And think about all those perverts who are up there amongst the so-called elites. What kind of fantasies will they have? What kind of crap will they design? That's what really should be on your mind. But you notice he keeps saying, messing with the human biology. That's what they're doing. It's not meant to scare you, but it is meant to wake you up. Stop sitting around eating popcorn and acting like this was never going to happen. He's already telling you that humans are hackable. He's already said they can hack millions or billions of people at the same time. He already said they can strip away your free will, that they already have the technology. So for you to sit there and go, they're not going to do it, it's never going to happen. It's already here. The crazy question is, how many people has this been implemented on? Have they implemented it on anybody? Where did they implement this at? Who's receptive to this type of AI interference? Remember, he said under the skin surveillance. Well, how are they going to introduce to us this under the skin surveillance? You really got to let that sink in. This is why I do these videos. It's meant to bring awareness. Now, what you do with the information is up to you. I encourage you guys to share the information. And I can just tell you this. You're going to have people who resist this. People who don't want to believe it. People who won't believe it. But if you can reach even just one person, it's worth it. Because eventually they will reach somebody. And the next person will reach somebody. I hope that makes sense to people. I'm not here trying to go back and forth about the 17 miles of gold and all the people who went to Gitmo and who's been executed and who's cloned. Because nothing out there indicates that whatsoever, except for all the hokey pokey stories that are being told that are keeping you distracted from the truth. Many people believe that we're just watching a movie and nothing is going to happen. Meanwhile, they continue to move forward. That's why I think it's important for everybody to do the research on Operation Trust and tell me if it sounds familiar to you. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys let me know what you think down below. I will come back and respond. All right? Share this video. If anything, all you're going to do is bring awareness to it, whether you believe in it or not. I think it's important that people understand that these individuals are trying to control what's going on around the world. And if you got an idea of what their mindset is like, that helps you get an idea of the bigger picture. Feel free to share this video as much as possible. The more, the merrier, all right? Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. You have a good one. I'll catch you later. I'm out.